What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for life. Coming at you on YouTube, and tonight I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished their final game of the regular NFL season, their second matchup with the Bengals in the AFC North. Their home game on this Saturday night in Week 18 of the 2024 NFL season. This game, obviously, we're playing for a lot. Baltimore won earlier today against Cleveland, which means they are the division champions. We were playing for the potential to lock up the 5th seed, the first wildcard spot in the AFC. Crazy to think we're in this spot. 4 weeks ago, we were at 10-3 and looking to play the Chiefs on Christmas for the potential number 1 seed in the NFL and the AFC playoffs. Pittsburgh was looking for the top record in the league, best record in the AFC a month ago, and now we are sitting at a very lowly 10-7 after 4 consecutive losses. Again, went from being a possible number 1 seed to now trying to not fall to the 6th seed, depending on what the Chargers do tomorrow. We'll talk about playoff scenarios and all of that. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm not going to talk about overall plays and things like that at first. I want to just go into schematics and who to blame first, because this is the kind of game that I get pretty upset with. I have now watched 4 consecutive games where the team feels hopeless. I shouldn't have been starting off my day today feeling like Pittsburgh had no chance to beat the Bengals. The Bengals, who, make no mistake, have an elite offense, an absolutely elite offense, great quarterback, good young running back, one of the best 1-2 receiving combinations in the NFL, solid tight end in Gesicki. You got a really elite offense. But the Bengals have a bad defense. They were coming in 8-8, trying to get above 500. We just put 42 points up on them a few weeks ago in a 42 to 38 win that we had. So we shouldn't have felt hopeless, especially considering the Bengals running back Chase Brown was out and Zach Moss is already hurt. So the Bengals are playing with their 3rd running back, who they traded for before the deadline, Khalil Herbert, who's not bad in his own right, but he's more of a backup. He's not a guy that should be gashing you like he was gashing us today. Let's talk about why. I'm not the kind of person that comes on here like a lot of journalists, and really more so fans. Not as much the journalists, more so the fans. Blame Mike Tomlin for everything. You guys know I'm a Tomlin fan as a person and as a coach. I like Tomlin. I've met him before. Good guy. I like his coaching style. I like his interviews. I like all the Tomlinisms and all the sayings. And by and large, this season and beyond, I've been a Tomlin supporter and a Tomlin forgiver. This one falls on the general coaching. Not number 1 to Tomlin. I'm going to give that to Arthur Smith. Offensive coordinator first, defensive coordinator second, Mike Tomlin third. That being said, while I'm going to blame the coordinators more for the plays they're calling and the general schemes they're running, Mike Tomlin is the one putting the personnel on the field and prepping their team for the opponents they're playing. All 3 of those guys, Terrell Austin, Arthur Smith, Mike Tomlin, deserve major blame to be called on the carpet for this disgusting loss. This was really, really bad. The Bengals were playing for the chance to go to the playoffs. They need 2 teams to lose tomorrow to get in for the 7th seed. Pittsburgh, like I said, was playing for the 5 seed versus the 6 seed. That being said, like I said, the coach is here. The 2 things I noticed right away, and again, I'm not going to get into specific game stuff. I will do the players and stats and all that, pluses and minuses and stats. But I just want to look at schematics here. Number 1, offensively. You have Russell Wilson, who threw for 450 last time against the Bengals. He looked as electric as he has it all season long. This is not a Russell Wilson thing, right? Russell Wilson wasn't the sharpest tonight, but guess what? Number 1, they're calling the stupidest, most predictable, boring plays ever. It's like we got back to the Matt Canada days. This felt like I just saw Nosferatu in theater 3 days ago. I thought the team was bitten by Nosferatu. They are so monotone and boring. This run, pass. They go handoff on the first play. They go pitch on the second play, the weird pitch play they do. And then some contested short throw on the 3rd play for no reason. Or they get a penalty and throw a short dump-off pass and punt the ball. Every single series. Why is that? Why is that? You're not playing against this feared defense. The Bengals defense is not good. We just scored 42 on them last month. They didn't make any major changes to their defense besides more guys getting banged up. We should have abused this team. Again, people were looking at Russell Wilson. I'll talk about it, but we saw Justin Fields. Justin Fields is fine. He was 4-2. He was a solid conservative guy. He wasn't turning the ball over. He's got some decent legs, but he wasn't looking downfield much. He wasn't making electrifying plays. Russell Wilson was. Now all of a sudden, after playing some elite teams and having a bad month, you guys think he's washed? It wasn't Russell Wilson's best game, but this line stinks. The running game's not helping, and the play calling and the personnel they're using is wrong. These three coaches, the two coordinators and Mike Tomlin, are dead wrong right now. We'll talk about it more in depth, but offensively, again, Russell Wilson, having thrown for 450 last time, had 9 pass attempts, was like 7 for 9 or something in the first 2/3 of the game, with 3 quarters in, 2.5 quarters in. Russell Wilson was like 7 for 9. I think he had 5 completions all game until a drive in the fourth quarter. What are we doing? What are we doing? That makes no sense. This predictable run for 3 yards, hope our guys can break tackles, makes no sense because the line was getting no push. And the second Russell Wilson does go back to throw, he's getting his ass kicked because the outside linebackers and DNs are beating our tackles to shreds every single week. I understand there are some injuries. I get that Broderick's been beat up all year. I know that Fatanu's out, Daniels is out. I get it, but this line is getting our asses kicked, and I'm sick of watching it. It is a boring, monotone team. And to scheme it this way, to go run, pass, and then to rely on Russell Wilson to bail us out on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10 is not going to work. Big time negative there. Again, when you are running plays, you're running the same 2 plays over and over again. It's not helping. When you're targeting your star receiver, and we'll talk about George Pickens because I got some words for him too, but you're targeting George Pickens, every once in a while you throw those moon balls, that's great. You got to mix it up. You got to run some routes. You got to get some other guys downfield. This little 4-yard out to Freiermuth worked tonight in the second half. In the first half it didn't. And then you got Van Jefferson doing this contested out. That's not working. Calvin Austin got no targets at all tonight. The first target to Pickens was behind the line of scrimmage. The next couple he dropped. We'll talk about it. But you're not targeting your guy or giving your guy enough shots. If you're going to run this predictable offense where you're getting in 3rd and longs, you might as well just take twice every series and toss up the moon ball, the one-on-one deep ball. When you get that coverage, just throw it up to Mike Williams and George Pickens every single time because they're going to catch more than they're not. And up until tonight, Pickens wasn't dropping them. So throw those up there and just let him go make a play because what you're doing otherwise ain't fucking cutting it, all right? It's not cutting it. It's horrible. Defensively, couple things. Number 1, what happened to our staunch middle-of-the-line presence, right? Like Patrick Queen's been playing a little better over the last month. He found himself up until this tough stretch in the schedule. What happened to that middle of the line where you get guys on different blitzes that get pressure? Patrick Queen does that one blitz that he does very well when he blows the running back up. Aside from that, where's the middle of the field pressure? Where's, the Keanu Bentons and the stunt blitzes and the linebackers getting pressure in the middle and then covering the middle of the field? Our middle of the field is wide open. The Bengals ran that fullback tight end play several times where they allowed a blitz to come in and just dumped a little middle screen or let the tight end do a delay and leak out to the middle. And they used Sample like 4 times and the third tight end got one. I was surprised they didn't use Gesicki more on it, but Gesicki was open on simple little 5-yard ins, 5 yards up and in, little curl routes. Where are our linebackers? We paid Patrick Queen to come in and drafted Peyton Wilson, 2 of the best tackling guys and fastest, most energetic, hard-hitting guys you could possibly get, one being a rookie who blew up in college and one who's one of the best in the NFL. You bring him in, where's that presence? Where are the extra quarterback hits? Where are the different calls on defense? Where is that pressure coming from that's making them unable to get the middle of the field open? You got 4th string tight ends abusing us here over and over on the same plays again. Where's the recognition? That's on the players and on the adjustments from Tomlin and Terrell Austin. Also on defense, why in the hell do you have your guys playing 8 to 10 yards off of the best duo in the NFL? Jamar Chase arguably is the best receiver in the NFL with one of the best seasons we've seen in a long time. T. Higgins is the best number 2 guy in the league. You put those two together, you got a very formidable 1-2 punch. You add in a solid Yosavash. You add in Jermaine Burton, who didn't come to take the trip today for whatever reason. And then you talk about Gesicki. You got a receiving threat with these 2-headed monsters leading the way, and you got your corners playing 8 to 10 yards off of them, allowing them to get wide open 7-yard catches or make one slant cut and get a 10 to 12 yard play every time. Why are you leading your tall, lanky, physical corners off the receivers when that's the way you cover them. Get up on them, press them. I know they can beat you over the top, but allowing them to get 7 to 10 yard plays every time while putting no pressure on Burrow is going to make you lose every damn time. I'd rather lose by taking a chance and being physical than lose by being a bitch. And that's what we are right now, is a bunch of bitches. I can't stand watching this team play like that. What is that schematic? Also, you guys know I love Corey Trice. Big fan coming out of college, still in the 7th round. Great camp, got hurt, came back, played a few games, got a few picks, got hurt again, came back. When he's healthy, he can be a difference maker. I don't like Justin Lane in there. But if you're going to bring Corey Trice out and then you're going to put him back 10 yards off of Jamar Chase, not even T, not even the number 2, on the best receiver. You're going to have Porter follow T around and then have Trice, this pretty much rookie. He's played 10 games in the NFL. He's a rookie. You're going to bring him in one-on-one against the best receiver in the NFL, put him back 10 yards, and give the guy no safety help against Jamar Chase? What are we doing? Where's the play calling? Where's the personnel? Where's the scheme fit? It makes no sense. Tomlin, Austin, what the fuck are you guys doing? It's hard to watch. It is hard to watch. Let's get into some stats. That's why we lost. Defensively, we didn't have any extra pressure. I'll talk about TJ Watt in a second, too. I'm going to keep going. I got more guys to go off on. Give me a second here. Stats for the night. Russell Wilson, 17 to 31, 148 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. The touchdown was a very nice play to Freiermuth. Freiermuth got wide open. Russell Wilson made the adjustment, found him in the air. Freiermuth, nice footwork to get the ball over the pylon for the touchdown. Freiermuth, good night. Good. That was a good play by Russell Wilson. Couple nice plays on Russell Wilson's feet as well. But let's talk about this, because that's something else I'm seeing online now, is put Justin Fields in. I already said Justin Fields is solid. He's not a bad guy to have in there. Good stopgap guy, could be a starter for a lot of teams. Russell Wilson is a pure upgrade, and bringing in Fields right now is going to make us more conservative, like we were for 6 games before Russell Wilson came back. They were already conservative because they didn't want Fields to make mistakes like he used to in Chicago. What do you think you're going to do with this line, with him in there, with the O-line playing the way it is? Yes, he can get outside and break some plays because he is younger and more athletic and faster. Yes, he would get more first downs with his legs. With his arms, nothing. Nothing at all. That's not the answer. Russell Wilson, by and large here, is not even in the top 5 or 6 problems we got in this game or in this stretch. Najee Harris, 12 carries, 36 yards, and a touchdown. You know what that is already. That's 3 yards a carry. Jaylen Warren, 6 for 21. Again, Najee fought hard, made a really nice broken tackle play on a run, made an even nicer one on a catch where he broke a tackle and then got hurt and came back. He's a hard runner. He's got 4 seasons over 1,000 yards, even though Aikman said the bar is lowered. I get it. He's a good runner, hard runner. Jaylen Warren, very good change of pace back, physical guy. I love both those guys, but the running is so predictable and so formulaic. The play calling and the timing of those runs is terrible. And when you're getting that on top of not getting blocking downfield, not getting any second level stuff, not getting any chips on the defensive line, not pulling any guards, not doing anything different, you're going to get the results we've been getting. So I'm not going to blame them all that much, but they didn't help the situation either. George Pickens. Normally I'd lead with our leading receiver tonight. I'm going to start with George Pickens. I think he had 6 targets by the end of the game. 2 were completely out of his reach. One was a deep ball that he got himself wide open on. Made a nice double move on the cornerback, got himself wide open. Russell Wilson was under pressure and didn't hit him. So I will give Russell Wilson all of the blame for the management on that last series. I want to touch on that real quick. Russell Wilson ran the ball downfield first of all, dumped it off for a 2-yard gain where the guy couldn't get out of bounds. Then ran another play instead of spiking it and got another 2-yard play. And then ran the ball instead of getting out of bounds when he could have, tried to get an extra yard. Maybe got 1, but went down inbounds and burned another 20 seconds. Then tried to throw the deep ball, had Pickens open and just missed him. And at that point, we were already behind the chains. Did throw a really nice ball to Freiermuth that Freiermuth dropped. We'll talk about it. But Russell Wilson's management on that last series, his choices, his not getting out of bounds, just really, really, really bad. That's on Russell Wilson. That's not a Mike Tomlin thing. That was Russell Wilson. Pickens, yeah, like overall six targets, 2 were out of his reach. 1 catch, 0 yards. There's your big superstar trash-talking receiver who's talking to the media every week and getting in fights on the field and fighting guys up in the stands and calling out the fans. There's your star receiver. 1 catch, no yards. This was on George Pickens. He had at least 3, if not 4 drops. I clocked 3. There might have been a 4th one that I missed. 3 drops at least. One was on the deep ball that was beautiful by Russell Wilson. Pickens had it right in his hands and just dropped it. Again, I'll give him some credit. He doesn't usually drop those, and that was a tough play. But he got himself open, and he makes that catch 9 out of 10 times. He drops that ball. He drops a short out route coming back to the ball. I think it was more so a curl, not an out. More of a curl route. Drops that ball. Dropped another one toward the end zone. Just what a horrible day for George Pickens. And again, if you're supposed to be the star and you're constantly having ego issues and fighting players and talking bad to the media, and tonight he was pointing to the stands and calling fans out for razzing them, you don't drop 3 or 4 balls when your team needs you. You do not do it. The last one wasn't his fault. He ran a beautiful route and got open. The other ones were his fault. George Pickens, big problem tonight. Pat Freiermuth, 8 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown, was by far our leader. Only receiver over 25 yards for the day. Finally using Pat Freiermuth the way he should be used. That last play, if Pat would have caught it around the Pittsburgh 45 or 50 yard line, would have caught the ball with 11 seconds left and no timeouts inbounds. We would have had to run to the line and spike it and throw a Hail Mary, or we would have had to just have the clock run out. It wouldn't have mattered. Pat catching the ball, he should have caught it. He got enough space separation. He got 2 hands on it. It's his only drop of the night. He had 8 catches and a touchdown. I'm not going to be too hard on him. Pat should have caught that ball, but you know what? Either the clock runs out or we get a Hail Mary with 2 seconds left. Either way, we're probably not going to win that game, so I'm not going to blame Pat too much. Offensive line, overall negative for all 5 of them. Fuck this entire group right now. Again, I know there's injuries. I know we're missing 3 or 4 guys to the IR, but man, Dan Moore got freaking cooked. I mean, someone check Hell's Kitchen and talk to Gordon Ramsay for Dan Moore, because Dan Moore got his ass kicked. And I know you're going against Trey Hendrickson. He's a Pro Bowler. He's one of the best in the game right now. But 3 sacks and 5 quarterback hits. Again, I know you're facing elite talent, but so is the other team, and they're stopping T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt's getting stopped. Myles Garrett's not going off every single week, and he's been very good. Every elite guy is not going off every single week like they are on Dan Moore. Dan Moore's getting his ass kicked and coming around to being the Dan Moore that I remember for the last 4 seasons up until the first half of this year. Great first half of the season, outplayed his ability, had his best half of season ever in his career this year. He did this last 5 games against elite talent. He is getting his ass scorched. Somebody check him for sun poisoning. Good Lord. Defensively, here's some credit. A couple splash plays for credit real quick. We're going long. Beanie Bishop with the interception. Patrick Queen got a nice tip, and Bishop scooped it off the ground. Beautiful interception. Well done. We got 4 sacks in this game. Should have probably had a lot more than that, but did come around in the second half. Our sacks were Patrick Queen, Keanu Benton, Preston Smith, and Nick Herbig. Very nice. Good to see Benton get 2 tackles for a loss, 1 in the rush game, 1 in the pass game. Queen with the sack and the tip ball that led to a pick, so 2 big plays for him there. Peyton Wilson also had a forced fumble that was recovered by the Bengals, but a nice play on that. Cam Hayward, the star of the show, the only player on our defense that should have made the Pro Bowl. I'm looking at you, Watt and Minka. You guys don't belong there this season. That was legacy votes. Cam Hayward's the one that belongs there. 3 batted balls tonight. Best batted ball guy in the NFL this year. All right, negatives. Joey Porter Jr. got cooked by T. Higgins for 55 yards, and Higgins got hurt and didn't play for a quarter and a half. Corey Trice wasn't turning around to locate the ball, even on the touchdown one that wasn't caught by Chase. Chase wound up with 10 catches for 95 yards. I think he had a touchdown as well. Trice wasn't locating the ball on the deep balls, even the one Chase didn't catch. Trice also got a penalty downfield that negated a TJ Watt. It was Watt's only play. It was his only quarterback hit of the day. It was a sack forced fumble that was negated. Watt was not on the stat sheet at all except for that one play that was taken away by a penalty. So Watt makes one play that does not count. So big negative for Trice, but that was more so on the scheme and the way they had him used and what they had him doing. JPJ and Trice, both big negatives. TJ Watt a negative because, again, wasn't on the stat sheet minus one play. That was a hold downfield. So if you're going to be a star, just like I said to Pickens, you got to show up when your team needs you, TJ Watt. I've been calling you out for the last month. Again, you're the best in the game. I'm holding you to a higher standard. You got to do more. Special teams, Calvin Austin fumbled. He didn't have a good night. He had no targets whatsoever on offense. Winds up with the fumble on special teams. Connor Hayward does recover a fumble on special teams off of the guy's foot. Good to see Connor Hayward getting opportunities. Boswell goes 1 for 1 with a 54-yard field goal. He's a Pro Bowler for a reason. Best kicker in the game this year. Corliss Waitman, 5 kicks for 205 yards, a 41.0 yard per kick average with 2 kicks inside the 20. Pretty decent day for Waitman. So Pittsburgh loses 4 in a row, not just losing to good teams, but also losing to average teams or mid teams in bad fashion, showing no hope right now. Problems in coaching, problems in discipline, problems in scheme fit, problems in coverage, problems in playing against third-string running backs that are running for too much, not getting enough pressure, stars not making enough plays, offensively schemed up bad and predictably, stars dropping balls tonight, run game just not working, offensive line putrid, just bad all around. What'd you think of this game? Tell me in the comments down below. I know you guys like when I do these more fired up reviews. This was a rough one. Pittsburgh goes to 10-6 now, or 10-7 now. I had them at either 10-7 or 11-6 coming into the year, so they finished the same way I expected, just not in the way with the lack of hope and the lack of effort and the lack of competitiveness that I didn't expect. So Pittsburgh now will get the 5 seed if the Chargers lose to the Las Vegas Raiders tomorrow. If the Raiders beat the Chargers, Pittsburgh gets the 5 seed and goes to play the Houston Texans, who are banged up and not playing very well, so that is our best case scenario. If the Chargers beat the Raiders like they should, then we will be going to Baltimore, which we can always make it a game with them. We beat them once before this season, but we played them horribly last time a couple weeks ago, and they are red hot right now, and they are on their best streak of their lives, and we have no hope right now. So the better matchup for us, although we can play both teams close if we get the recipe right, it hasn't been right for a long time. So we're hoping for Houston. So go Raiders tomorrow, and those are the scenarios. I will see you guys when the playoff schedule gets released. I'll review the game at some point. Hopefully the first Pittsburgh Steelers playoff win in freaking years at this point. Tell me in the comments down below what you thought of this game, who stood out to you and why. Don't give me any positives. Give me all the negatives. I want to complain with you guys today. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Please like, share, and subscribe this video for more Steeler deep dives. Go Steelers. Good luck next week, I guess.